Good afternoon, everybody. John here with Big Rig Outdoors. Happy day after Thanksgiving. I know I haven't been posting much for the last year. I've just been extremely busy with this coronavirus and everything going on. I have not been getting hardly any time off. About 34 hours a week or 1.5 days. So I have been just running as hard as I can go. And I've also had a few health issues with my back, and it's just been a really bad year. My editing computer that had all my videos, all my stored files, pictures, everything, it crashed on me. I just got a new computer about a month ago. Been enjoying playing around with it. It's definitely the most powerful computer I've ever owned. But that's all besides the point. What I want to talk about today, since I'm finally making another video, is being that it's the holiday season, and I've been getting a ton of questions on my older archery videos about different traditional bows, and of course the ones that I did the videos on, and other bows that would meet a certain budget range. And that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about the best bow for the money. There's several companies that are importing them under different names, but most of them are compatible with each other. The best thing I can tell you to do is call Three Rivers Archery and discuss it with them, and they will tell you which ones are compatible and which ones aren't, as far as limbs to riser makeups. But this bow was all the rage on YouTube a few years ago. I took my first buck with a traditional bow with this bow right here, and it is the Samick Sage. This thing, for the money, it is the best deal out there for a recurve, a takedown recurve nonetheless. Most of them are bamboo core limbs. You can get maple core with some of the other models, if I recall. I'd have to double check on it, but I'm pretty sure that one or two of them has maple core limbs. Actually, I've got them pulled up right here. That way I can give prices and everything. Let's see. So we have the Edge Takedown Recurve from Three Rivers Archery, which is for about $159. You can save a little bit of money right now because of Black Friday and Cyber Monday, all that good stuff. But this one right here, let's see. These ones have limbs. Okay, so the Edge Takedown are maple core limbs. Oh. And this one that I've got right here, so this is a Samick Sage riser. This is the original Samick Sage riser. But this one here, I'm using the Fleetwood limbs on. And these ones here are, pretty sure these ones are bamboo. It's been a long time since I've looked at it. But regardless, for the money, it's a great deal. And the reason why, one, is because it's already drilled and tapped for stabilizers, bow fishing rigs, whatever. I've taken a lot of fish and frogs with this. I got a little flashlight set up that I screw into here, along with another one that I screw into up here. And this is the other thing. This bow is already set up to where you could mount a riser mounted quiver, sights, whatever you wanted up here, and it's also drilled and tapped for a rest. Now I shoot off the shelf just with a bearskin I can't think of it now, but it's a riser pad. I use a bearskin one on this one. Mine, this is actually my wife's. No, this is my riser. Yeah, this one's my riser. My wife's riser has I think it's a horsehair uh, shelf pad. But anyways, I know I'm rambling. These bows are just phenomenal for the money that you pay for them. When I purchased the original Samick Sage, I think they were 119 bucks. Amazon's got several of them on there. No matter which one you go with, it's still a great deal. Unless, now this is the downside to it. If you've got a longer draw length, if you've got that 29.5, 30, 31 inch draw, you know, them big monkey arms, you may run into some stacking issues, which is where when you draw these things back, you'll hit a wall. Like right there's the wall on me, which is about 28 and a half inches, maybe 29. These do stack pretty tight. I would that's probably the best way I can describe it, is they've got a really tight draw window. I've got a 27.5 inch draw, so this bow fits me perfect. Oh, these are the 45 pound limbs. I thought I picked up my other limbs, but regardless, that's the major downside. These are 62 inch limbs, 62 inch bow, from tip to tip with this configuration, which is a bit short in my opinion for a bow like this, which is the reason why you hit that stacking. The maple core limbs don't stack as bad as the bamboo. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that these ones here are the bamboo limbs. God, I've had this bow for, about 7 years. 6 or 7 years I've had this bow. I've got several different limbs for it. I've got 55s, 45, and 35 pound limbs. For beginners, I would say, and this is really important, this is something I really should mention, because I've been seeing a lot of the comments in my videos saying people are buying 50, 55 pound limbs. You don't need limbs that heavy, okay? Traditional bows do not, they're not like a compound. Traditional bows are a lot finickier for hunting medium to big game. You've really got to have them dialed in. Most compounds, you throw any 400 or 300 spine arrow on them with a, you know, reasonable broadhead, 1 inch cutting diameter, and you're good to go, because of the speed. Traditional bows don't have that speed. With traditional bows, you need weight. Most of your broadheads are going to range in that 125 to 135, even up to 150 grain. And that's before you get into different inserts inside the arrows. For instance, these are some of my hunting arrows right here. This is a Easton Axis traditional. These run, 7.9 grains per inch, which is pretty light. This is something that you would shoot out of a compound. But I have a 3.8 grain insert that goes inside of this. It's just a long tube. You might be able to hear it. I have to smack it pretty hard to get it to rattle, because they fit in there so tight. But they are a weight tube insert. It fills it from nock to insert down here, the broadhead insert, the point insert. That adds an additional 3.8 grains, or 3.4. Oh, I'm gonna lie to you now. I'm gonna say that they're 3.8s, but they might be 3.4s. I've got so many of them. I've got a whole workroom full of arrows and arrow inserts. But anyways, it adds an additional 3.4 or 3.8 grains per inch. So that gets me up there to that 10.3, 10.7 grains per inch, which significantly increases the weight of the arrow overall. Plus, I've got a 125 grain head here that has an additional 10 grain collar on it. So that's getting me up there to that 135 grain. 2 blade, which aids with penetration. Because we don't have that speed. With traditional archery, you're generally looking at 2, 3, or 2 bladed broadheads with the small little bleeder blades in the center. That's generally what you're going to be looking for, because you want penetration. You want a streamlined broadhead. But I know I'm getting way off the topic here and going down the rabbit hole. So what we're going to do a little bit of shooting here. I've got my good friend Mr. Groundhog. This is one of the Three Rivers Archery dinks or dinky targets. They're just a hard foam. You can shoot field points, broadheads. I'm not going to shoot broadheads into this guy. Broadheads will tear them up very quickly. So I'm just going to use small game blunts and field points on these. Actually, yeah, I do have a couple blunts with me. But I'm going to shoot a combination of carbon arrows without the inserts in them, without the weighted inserts, and a few wood arrows. And we'll see what we can do. I know I've rambled for quite a while, but there's just a lot of questions I've been getting on YouTube about traditional archery, and I wanted to pass along some of the information to some of the beginners that I know watch this. Alright folks, so we've set up our little groundhog target up here. It's at about 10 yards. We're going to fling a few arrows up there at him and just show you a little bit of what this bow is capable of. These Samick Sages and the other copies of them, they are truly great bows for the money. If you've watched any of my other longbow videos, those range from $150 to about $250. And that's for the low end longbows. I've got a couple of bows down there at the house that are, you know, $500–600, which are outside of most people's price range for traditional archery, in my opinion. There is a huge difference between a $130, $115 bow versus a $500–600 bow. Without a doubt, there is a major difference. Usually you're going to get a little bit more speed, and the comfort level and the weight of the physical weight of the bow itself are usually pretty significant. The Samick Sage is it's a good heavy bow, but it's balanced. It's not. I've picked some up where you just go, where's the center point out of this bow? Where's the balance point? And which is really difficult with traditional bows that are made of any decent quality. But anyways, that's enough rambling. Let's send a few arrows downrange. So we've got a 135 grain field point. Oh, no, I'm sorry, 125 grain. The 125 grain field point. We're going to send him downrange at our groundhog. That's about, it might be 12 yards. That's what I'm going to shoot him for, is 12 yards. And we center punched him. So, let's go for another one. Oops. Oh, just to the side of him. Now, the Samick Sage, when you first get it, if it's, I'm using a fast flight string on here first off, but generally with the Samick Sage, you're going to get a little bit of limb slap, which is why you hear this bow being a little bit loud. What I do is I take some Velcro, the loop side of Velcro, and I put it underneath of the belly of the bow right here, right where the string touches the bow, right where the string touches the limbs rather, and that quietens it down so much. We do have rather small puffball string silencers on here, which doesn't dampen it down as much as my other setup, my other limbs and string that I use for hunting. I got a 50-pound set of limbs that I use nowadays down here in Georgia because of wild pig. I want something with a little bit more oomph to it because some of those boars get that armored plate on them. But I haven't had a problem getting penetration with this setup here on deer and medium-sized game. Let's get another one in there. Right there in the center again. Let's go with a wood arrow. I know my form is god awful right now. I haven't shot in almost a year, and I've got a really bad habit of plucking the string. It's where you pull your hand away from your face. That'll go away with a little bit more time behind the bow again. Whoop. Heavier arrow. Yep. And these are a lot wider arrows, so my sight picture is a lot coarser. I used to shoot 100% instinctive, and I still do from time to time, but I'm into what's called string walking now, where I actually use the string basically I'm using the string as a sight. So I'm using my fingers as a measuring device, where I know that at 10, 15 yards with these lighter arrows, if I drop my finger down to right at my ring finger here and slide that down, and I'm going to use that as my anchor point. So I'm going to still anchor in the same spot, right in the corner of my mouth, hooking my thumb in behind my jaw. But by doing that, it changes the way I'm looking down the shaft or the tip of the arrow. Some people do it a little different. And then I can use the point of the arrow to sight off of. So for instance, right now, I'm going to come right down here to just above my ring finger. So that's where I'm going to hold this string at. It changes the angle of the string, and well, it changes the pinch point. So it changes the way the angle at the arrow comes off the bow shelf too. And when I draw back, I'm going to use the tip of the arrow to aim with. So I'm shooting a little bit left. Also too, wood arrows fly a little bit different, but these are a lot heavier than these carbons. So I'm going to just make the slight adjustment. Oops, wrong arrow. All right, so we got a blunt. Make the slight adjustment with my point of my arrow. So I'm gonna hold a little bit right of my target. Oh, shot underneath of him. Got a field point this time. And there we go. Dead center. Now that I've bracketed it, another field point. And you can see that's a really effective way of aiming with traditional archery. But I'm gonna go pull my arrows, and then we'll have another quick chat. All right, come on back. I hit the target. All right, go check it. Did I get a bullseye? I must have got a bullseye. You big goofy dog. Oh, a little high on that one. There we go. We're starting to get in the groove. Now you're gonna go check that one, huh? You already know where that one there went. Alright guys, so I mean, it's a quick little video. I just wanted to get it out for those of you that are looking for ideas for Christmas presents or things that you want to go out and try, especially late season deer hunting. Man, it's a blast. Most people are not in the woods. The deer calm way down, so it is a great time to get out there and attempt to hunt with a traditional bow, especially once the snow starts flying for those of you up north. Also too, it's a great time to go out and small game hunt like rabbit. I love hunting rabbit with a recurve or a longbow. Just use flu arrows. You can use your regular hunting arrows too, but I highly recommend getting the judo collars for them. They're just a collar that goes around your broadhead or field point. It's got little wires on it, and it just keeps your arrow from burying deep under the grass. Most of the time, like if you hit a little bit of field grass, the arrow will just flip over. So you don't lose them. You can still lose them though, especially if you get a bad shot that just buries that arrow. But anyways, like I was saying, late season is a fabulous time to be out there, especially when the snow starts flying, because the deer are fairly easy to pattern, just like they were back in the beginning of bow season, before there was a lot of people out there and they were on predictable patterns. Not during the rut or middle of gun season when you got every hillbilly in the world out there chasing them around. Not to talk bad about hillbillies. I'm an Appalachian American myself from up in the hills of Kentucky. Hillbilly is a derogatory term to me. I prefer to be called Appalachian American. Joking. But anyways, like I was saying, I just wanted to get this video out for those of you that are looking for a cheap option that will get you in the field and get you shooting. Traditional archery is just, it's an absolute blast. It's so more intimate than going out there with a compound that's got sights on it that you can hit a quarter at 75 yards. You may doubt it, but I have done it. One of the last deer that I killed with a compound was at 78 yards. That's a pretty good shot for archery equipment. But regardless, the last thing I want to say, I am going to do my absolute best this year, or this coming spring, to make it to Trad Fest, which is the Kentucky Traditional Bow Hunters Association, KTBA. They put on a little festival in Mercer County, Kentucky. I assume that's where they're going to do it this spring. That's where they've done it in previous years. I was with them back when they were just a little bitty association, and they've blown up a tremendous amount since I left home. But huge shout out to the people at KTBA. A lot of them taught me what little bit that I know about traditional archery. I am no expert by any means. I've just done it since I was a kid. So to me, a lot of the information that beginners need, I don't even think about, because I've been doing it for so long. So I'm going to do my best to make a little mini series over the next, we'll say, month. Try to get one video out a week if I can. Keep in mind that this is one of the roughest times of the year for truck drivers. But I'm going to try to do this between now and Christmas, try to get these videos out for those of you that are looking at traditional archery. But I've rambled on enough, so I hope you all have had a wonderful Thanksgiving and got to see your family. So be safe, everybody. Wash your hands, mask up if you want to mask up, but most of all, be safe, tight lines. We'll catch you next time.